This is recording.
Okay.
So let me get on this first. And there's that.
What was that?
I am not sure. What was that noise?
I don't know. That's why I asked you.
That was an interesting dink.
Yes.
It says we're on live.
Uh-huh.
All right. This has been already in a show of
interest.
There we go.
There we go.
At least we're broadcasting. That's good. So that's good. And all right, we'll see what's going on. There's stuff abound. Hey, folks, welcome to the GeoSnippits Reboot Podcast. It is the pre-show, and the reason that I know it's going to be the pre-show is because I'm going to come over here and I'm going to turn on the thing that says that it's a pre-show. Once the presets show up.
And you're going to flip us.
And I'm going to flip us, and things will go. There you go. Things are better. All right, so I'm over here. You're over there. We need to move the camera about a tad so that we are a little more in place. There we go. Better, worse, you like it like that, or in more?
Mm-mm.
We don't have our lights on. It's that kind of show. One momento, por favor. Which to me could mean peas and carrots and a slice of pizza, please. I don't know. So yes, welcome to the GeoSnippits Reboot Podcast pre-show. It's been a day. Bright lights. It's been a day. It's been a day already, and Google, in its infinite wisdom, has bestowed upon us some interesting things when it comes to stuff not working correctly. Now, we had actually suspected something was going to happen. Let's see. Let me get up more. Okay, that still has to go that far. We noticed yesterday on the Geocaching Podcast that things were acting a little weird because stuff like the bottom third that you can see down there where it says GSRP patron pre-show, that part of it, Scott Burke suddenly went into some weird, bizarre font, like, you know, something you would see out of the old black and white monster movies. That kind of font. Yeah, a really bizarre, off-the-wall font. No explanation. There's no way for us to change it here in our stuff. So we were sitting there going, okay.
Can you scroll that one down, please?
Scroll what one down?
That screen.
Oh, so that you can see what you're doing. So that's one of the things.
And stop us.
And yes, ma'am.
Where?
With me waving hi. Okay, so that stopped, and I'm going to put this down so Mrs. Amy can do what she does best, which is talk with the people in the chat room. So what I'm going to do...
He'll get to that problem momentarily.
I will get to the other stuff that's
Put
going
in the
on.
Box.
Hang on, I'm trying to get in here. One moment, please, por favor. Breathe. Okay. There. Which is going to make it interesting trying to work with the
Oh, my Lord.
While you're doing that. So anyways, you can at least read what's going on in the chat room and stuff. So I will play with this part while you're working with that. So anyways, we don't have to do anything with that right now with the show. So yeah, it's one of those weird things. So okay, Google starts off last night acting weird. And we noticed somebody said somewhere that there was an update to stuff. And a lot of the podcasters, when they start hearing that, they start not panicking, but they start realizing that things may go awry. Well, first off, we'd like to apologize to the 5,000 invites we sent out.
Yes.
Because what happened is when we start the Hangout, and this is the reason, by the way, if you're new to the show and you're going, why are they talking about this and not geocaching? The pre-show, we talk about a lot of stuff leading up to the show. It's the show before the show. And it gives us a chance to vent when it comes to when things like this happen. So basically what happens is we noticed the stuff last night going out. Today, when I went to start the Hangout and actually set it up so that it sends out the invites, gives me the initial information for the actual show itself, so I can set up the HTML and the websites, and you guys get notified, and everything gets happy hunky dory. I go to start it, and it goes, "Oops, your event must have been either has the wrong URL or it has been deleted," of which I had done neither. So I'm like, WTF? And I'm like, I don't understand. So I did it again, thinking, cockpit error, I did something wrong, what could cause this stuff? And yes, I have a cold. We'll get into that too.
Oh, goody.
So I'm like, okay, what gives? So I tried it again. Same thing. I'm like, all right, here we go. We knew weird stuff was going to happen. Now, how do I get the show started so that I can go out and start doing things? Well, I experimented and did like any other, IT person. We beat on every key until it did what we wanted it to do. And for you podcasters out there that are wondering what do you do to get the show going until Google figures out that they screwed up, what happens is when you go to start the show and you get the oops screen, if you hit the reload button, so it reloads the screen and refreshes the screen, it comes up the way that we expect it. If you don't, you have no idea how to get the links to even get into the command room so that we can do the show and actually click the start broadcast button. So yeah, it's no fun. When things do not go right and you're trying to put it together a live show, it's what little hair I've got left. I'm just saying.
Whatever.
Yeah. So that's part of the fun. Part of the fun. So we're going through. I figured that part out. I didn't have all the show complete. So I'm like, okay, because I started on this at 6:30 thinking, I got time, we'll get this going. Luckily, I started the thing for the broadcast early so that I could run into that and figure it out. But I'm like, I got time. I got an hour and a half before the show starts. This will be fun. Away it goes. And the next fun part is we have what is known as camera 2, which is this here. And this camera decided, because when it hooked into Google Plus, it did not want to work. Matter of fact, all the devices said loading devices, stuff that we've never had before, that it's causing all this craziness. And we're going, okay, why is this happening? Why is this going on? More Google Plus stuff. So I had to go through and figure out how to get that working. And what I ended up doing is I had to go out of my laptop, which is the guy you're looking at right here that Miss Amy's on. That one I had to go and reboot that one from scratch with the camera hooked in, working correctly, and then going into Google Plus and then getting an invite so that the camera can go to there and switch between there and our primary camera, which is this one. So yeah, I got that going. Now it's like 7:45 and it's like, okay, we're going to just do whatever we've got. I've got enough stuff in the show to do a decent show. May not be the longest one in history, but we got stuff in there to talk about. Time keeps coming. I go to bring Miss Amy's laptop over, which has worked fine forever. Haven't had a problem with it. Plugged it in, turned it on, and figured the login would be ready for her so she could just come in and log into it, because that's what she uses to talk to you fine folks on the chat room. And I'm in the bedroom because I forget, the one thing that I forgot was the prize for tonight. And it's like, okay, so I'm trying to find a prize real quick. And I hear Amy come into the bedroom, and it's like, what's up? She says, well, there's something beeping in the studio. And I'm like, what? She said, something is beeping in the studio. I thought it was my, smartphone, but I knew I put it on mute. And it's like, that may not be good. Sure enough, I go into here. It's her laptop that she does all her schoolwork on. And now when you turn it on, there is no hard drive light at all. It just sits there with a black screen for about 15 seconds and then starts doing this beep, beep, beep. You get the gist. So, yes, her favorite trusty laptop is now down for the count until I can figure out what's going on with that.
And my next class starts Tuesday.
And her next class starts Tuesday. So we will figure stuff out somehow and go from there. I don't know. I will figure it out.
I don't know how.
But, yeah. So
No, it's not good.
No, it's not good. So needless to say, that's my project for the weekend, is to figure out how to get the laptop working. So, yeah, just,
Until we can get me some other...
Yeah, until we get
something.
another laptop. I mean, it's as simple as that. We may not be able to get all the bells and whistles and make it fancy.
I don't really care what it is.
But we can get you a basic somehow and figure that out. That's how that goes. So,
my dad's got an extra one.
Your dad?
I don't know.
Your dad has stuff that goes back to the 1970s.
He's still got a desktop.
Yeah, I know. You need something that you can at least work.
Okay, his at least turns on and doesn't beep.
Yes, but this is one of those things that I will be on Google and see and figuring out what.
I mean, if I have to, I'll go to their house and do my homework.
That's ridiculous. I got 6 computers in here.
Did you have to do a podcast on Wednesday and Thursday? Thursday is my due date for my post.
We'll figure it out.
Yes.
So, anyways, we'll figure something out. But
I'm glad y'all got to see that discussion.
Yeah. So when it rains, it pours, and that's why you see the pre-show. You get to see all the behind-the-scenes goodness when things go awry. And it's been like this all day. Just too many things happening that go wrong.
But at least you got the other job that you've been working, so there's a little bit of
help with that.
There.
So we'll see what happens.
So
we'll go from there. Yeah.
Look, I'm trying to find something positive, okay?
Yes, and I hope you do, because last week, when you were on the show,
yeah,
you were morbid.
What?
You were morbid.
It's not morbid.
Okay, I'm sorry. Where the entire expression on your face was.
Look, I was in a funk. All right.
You were in a funk.
Yeah.
You were funkadelic. So hopefully we'll get out of the funk, we'll figure out the other stuff, and fix the funk. So
I want a yoga.
You want a yogurt?
Mm-mm.
You want a yoga?
I want a yoga. I bet Tiger Direct has them.
Okay.
Cheaper than Best Buy.
A yoga.
Yes.
A computer called yoga.
Yes.
Okay, IT people, quit shaking your head or rolling your eyes. Why would you want a computer named Yoga?
Because it's a touch screen.
Uh-huh.
You can fold it.
Uh-huh.
So it's a tablet.
Okay.
As well.
Yes.
It's light.
Okay.
And it's thin.
Uh-huh. Has this been research tested, looked at by anybody besides Bob?
Who's Bob?
The one person that sits in the corner that they obviously asked, do you like this type of computer?
I don't know Bob, but a couple of guys.
You must do research when you go to purchase a computer.
A couple of guys at work use them.
Like I said, research
and
is
one
good.
is not very technologically
and research
advanced,
is
and
good.
he can use them.
It's not.
I have played with it at work.
Okay.
And I like it.
Well, let me look at it. Before
Are you the be all end all when it comes to computers?
Yes. Yes,
Well,
I
I'm
am.
so glad I found the be-all, end-all.
There are reasons, and people in the chat room, and they're like, they still are talking about geocaching. We don't do that until usually the show
No,
itself.
to my knowledge, the computer did not drop. I don't know.
It was just sitting there.
I cannot promise that it was not dropped.
Yeah, see, this is all the IT people that are coming in that are saying,
But
hey, by the way.
I can't see everything because of the cords, but
Yes.
hopefully it's just a loose connection.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking too. Is because it's not getting any hard drive at all, so it's.
No, I'm hoping it's just
either
a loose connection.
it's either the motherboard going that way, or it is a laptop. So I'm wondering about any connection at all that might influence. So I will be looking it up and figuring out and getting it fixed.
Meanwhile, I'll be finding the cheapest yoga I can find.
You do that. Now, why? And the IT people in the chat room can sit there and say,
okay, if anybody in the chat room has heard of a yoga and has used one, please let me know.
Right. As opposed to the Shih Tzu or other type. When you hear an off-brand with any
That's
kind of IT.
That's not a brand. It's a type of...
No, don't mess it up. Don't mess it up.
I'm going to Google it after this is all over and show it to you.
I'm going to research it myself.
I have no doubt in my mind about that.
One of the things you do. Now, this is why people come to other IT people and say, is this the right computer to get? And the reason why the computer people...
Lenovo or...
Lenovo's fine.
That's the brand. That's the brand name.
That's the... Okay, and yoga is the make?
Yes.
Okay, we'll do some research. And they got it there on CNET. So thank you, Taz, and other fine folks out there. They've got... All right. So it doesn't mean it's great. When I sit there and say, does somebody want to, is it good if I buy a Schnozzelberry type computer? I'm like, I don't know the Schnozzelberry type computer. Let me research it before I say, yeah, that's a good thing to do, or no, that's not a good thing to do. Let the IT people be IT and do what they do best.
And that's what they bought it.
Okay. Well, that's where we go with.
Yoga is the model, Lenovo is the brand. See?
Yes.
I love my people.
Okay, that's fine. But you understand why if somebody sits there and
even
says,
the IT people,
I want to buy a yoga. Well, yay, boo-boo. It's like I need more than that.
You need more.
Unless it's a
brand. I
brand.
don't need more.
And that's why they sell all these other brands of computers to people, and they wonder why 3 weeks later, I don't like this computer.
Mafia Princess knows what it is, too.
All right. Well, good. I need to do some research.
Yes, she can probably call you and tell you about it.
I sure she can. Wow.
I think she's 8.
Jeez. Well, there you go. All right. So that's the fun we've had today. And that's not even all of it. That's just part of the fun. So it's that's what happens when things come a crash and you try the best you can. I was just glad to get the broadcast up so that we could argue or discuss.
We're not arguing. That's not arguing.
Needless to say, I had a nasty cold yesterday. It was not feeling good. So if I'm coughing more than usual, that's why. Or if I'm stuffed up or any of that's going, that's why. I'm sure that was professional, but I apologize. So yeah, lots of cool stuff. Things are going that way. We hope that the weather is clearing up for you fine folks, and you're able to get out to do some geocaching this week. Not too much. So what are you up to now?
I thank everyone for their help.
Well, that's good. I do appreciate it. That's why we have our chat room. They got your back.
No.
They help you out.
They love me.
They love you. It's like, yeah, buddy.
Amy's going down. Let's open out.
It's one of those things. It's like people ask me all the time. It's like with geocaching. I'll actually talk about something geocaching. If somebody comes up and says, what's the best GPS unit I can buy for me? And I'll go through a set of things to say this is what it is. Well, I saw this yoga GPS unit, and I think it's just the greatest thing since white bread. One of me would say, I haven't done any research, so I can't really say one way or the other. And two, if you spend your money on something like that, I hope you did your research.
Yes.
So.
I have no problem with you doing research.
Okay.
You'll find out it's good.
Yep.
Vodka with flavored water.
I wish.
Yeah, really.
No, this is my Clear American. Ding. It's basically carbonated water. I can't drink seltzer water. Seltzer water to me is Alka-Seltzer water. It's yucky. But but carbonated flavored water.
And he can't drink just the plain old water either.
No, it's got to have some flavor to it.
Yeah. So he's drinking his apple cider.
So I'm drinking my my apple cider or my golden peach or whatever. So it's flavored carbonated water, so I'm drinking water instead of soda.
Yes.
So that's how that goes. Wow. After driving myself crazy and trying to figure out everything, I suppose I should set a couple of things up before we actually do the show, and hopefully they'll do what they're supposed to do. And that's set. So I think things are there. Let's do a quick run.
I heard you doing the music earlier.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know if it's actually going through, so let's make sure.
You played the country music earlier.
Yes.
I was talking to Julie.
So yes, it was one of those things, and you know, things happen, and that whole if life throws you lemons, smack with a larger bat. I don't know. It's one.
Grab some vodka and.
Grab some vodka and do it right. Okay, fair enough. Yeah. So it's just been one of those days where things just weren't working right, and we want to thank God by Google by adding to it by bringing all.
Somebody said we should call the bear.
Yeah, you know that doesn't help.
It does not help
because I have done that.
He just is like, I don't really know what you want me to do, area. But that's not kind of my job.
Yeah, that's not what I do, but I can let them know.
He says, "I'm sorry that's happening to you."
Yes.
That's not really useful, but thanks.
People.
Okay.
Yes. All part of the fun. All right, folks. We've got, let's see, my brain's
he
not
doesn't
working.
even know what time it is.
27-ish or so.
You know, I was on the phone earlier.
Yes.
And, sorry. And your cat.
My cat. Which one?
She.
Caitlin.
Kept jumping up on my shoulders. Not to say jumping up, but she'd put her one paw on either shoulder.
Uh-huh. That's a big cat.
Well, I was sitting down.
Okay.
And meow in my ear.
Well, she wants attention.
And
I don't know where she gets that from, but...
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And I said, "I'm on the phone." And Julie says, "Oh, is your daughter home?" I said, "No, I'm talking to the cat." She said, "Wow, Amy." Yeah,
already.
I told her I didn't want to hear it because I knew she talked to the dog, so.
Okay. Well, I was going to say cat lady already.
Yeah. No, she's got a 190-pound Newfie and like a Chihuahua and something else.
What was the one we were talking to, just real quick, as we like rescuing dogs and stuff. We went to...
yeah.
We went to a pet store.
Oh, my God, the English Mastiff.
Oh, puppy.
9 weeks old. And his dad, the lady got him from a breeder, and I asked her what his parents were like.
Right.
She said his dad was 280 pounds. I was like, "Oh, that's a dog."
Right.
She said his mom was over 200 pounds too.
And somebody in their family was 350.
What?
Once she said one of the other parts was another member of the family was up to 350 pounds.
I did not hear that.
That is a big mastiff.
That dog is going to be ginormous.
Yes. She's like, "I don't understand. He got so big so quick."
The puppy at 9 weeks old
Yes.
is getting fed adult food.
Yes. Matter of fact, extra, and I did not know this. This was something that we talked about with this, was that there is dog food. It had to get adult dog food so that it got the extra calcium, so because they grow so quick, so that the bones have enough calcium to grow with.
Yes.
And go that way.
And in puppy food, there's too much fat.
Right.
And they don't need the fat. They need the calcium to keep up with their bones.
Right, so that
and their
that's growing.
joints.
Cute. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my God.
Gorgeous.
He was so stinking cute. I told him, I was like, I would do that in a heartbeat. He goes, okay, you did hear the 200.
Right,
I said, oh,
plus.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, in a heartbeat. Dog lays around, doesn't do anything,
Nah.
and is not a guard dog. He goes, then what? I said, are you going to come in the house with a 250-pound dog barking at you?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
good point.
Yeah, now we're used to, 150-pound newfies and going that way.
Yeah, but these
And those
dogs
are big dogs.
Yeah, but there's no real grooming. They have short fur.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Awesome.
Gorgeous.
Awesome.
But do not get one just because they're big and they're cute, because there is a lot. You got to train them like there is no tomorrow. They are stubborn.
Hard-headed.
And
holy crap.
There's so much that you have to put up with, including the drool. And you got to know what you're getting into. So don't just go out to the corner.
You don't train them, you are done.
All right. We transgress.
Digress, yes.
And digress, transgress, and move.
Yes.
It is time to start. All right, folks, that's the pre-show with all the catastrophes involved therein. Holy cow. Time to move on to, and I'm going to get this set up here, the GeoSnippits Reboot Podcast.
Set the bottom thing.
I will set that in a moment. And that will be coming to you really, really quick once I get over to the right place and get that set up. All right, folks. GeoSnippits Reboot Podcast. However it works tonight, folks, this is how it's going to be coming at you right about, I hope now. The GeoSnippits Reboot Podcast is a proud member of the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here. Well, hello, and welcome. Welcome to the GeoSnippits Reboot Podcast. I'm your host, Andy HeadHardHat Smith, stuffed up and all. And next to me is Miss Wife Amy, the HeadHardHatress. And it is... Are we done moving the show notes?
My bad. Is that annoying?
Yes. There's a reason why she's over here and not at her normal 45-degree angle that she usually is. It's January 22nd, 2015, and in the next hour or so, both co-host Amy, the HeadHardHatress, and I will bring you some interesting information and tidbits about the game, the sport, yes, the obsession, known as geocaching. And yes, so I tell you what, this was the night of technological disasters.
Did you actually type meh?
I did. I almost put an exclamation point if I would have had enough time to put it into the show notes. This is the Reader's Digest version. We went into this in the pre-show. Okay, so this is basically what happens. In a nutshell, Google goes weird. Surprise. It literally goes through so that I couldn't start the Hangouts. So, again, if you've got 10,000 invites from us tonight, we apologize profusely. It's Google's fault.
I blame him.
I would try to start the initial process of a Hangout, and it would come back, oops, your website URL is incorrect, or it has been deleted. What? So I'm trying several times to get the basis so that we could get into the control room and actually do the hangout. Each time it said, oops, we can't, it's deleted, we don't know what's going on. So I'm going through YouTube, I'm going through Google.
Back and forth.
I'm trying to figure all this stuff out. Finally, I figure out a solution that was bizarre. Long story short, figured it out. Next, we start having issues on the computer over here, camera 2. I'm trying to get this to work right, and the camera's not working right. Google isn't accepting things the way that it's supposed to. Things are funky this way. Wonderful. So I play with it enough. Again, IT person, I figure it out. Then we go to get Miss Amy's laptop set up so that she can be on the chat room, so she can be her normal 45-degree angle talking to you fine folks while we're doing the show live. We turn the computer on.
It beeps.
It beeps. Nothing. No hard drive, nothing. Blank screen.
Black screen of death.
Yes, and it just beeps. So it means the hard drive loose connection. Something's bad in the laptop. Now we're faking it and trying to get things working right. So she's going to use, we enlarged the chat room here so she can read it from here, and so that we could go through and actually do the show. So long story short, the past 2 hours, I have been trying to get everything to work right. And by the miracle of the big guy above, we actually got it so that things are going. I'm just hoping the recorder does what the recording's supposed to do, that Google saves like it's supposed to do, because some update came somewhere and somebody is getting their head smacked around because they did some things without testing it, is basically what I think happened. So yes, that's why we're here. And there's your breakdown of all the technological things that we had.
That was a long story.
Just to get here. And I did that because we had very little geocaching done this week.
I had none.
Yeah, pretty much. The weather wasn't too bad of a factor. The main thing for me this weekend is I had to work, and literally all day, all 3 days. It was a 3-day weekend. I worked all 3 days so that we could have a little extra, spending money to do stuff, and now it looks like we're going to need it for buying equipment. Tons of fun. Anyway, that's how we're going here. Miss Amy, and not even to top that off, yesterday I had a nasty sore throat, and you can tell I'm more stuffed up than normal, so I'm just kind of a little sick with a head cold yesterday, enough to knock me out. It was bad. I'm better today. But if I'm coughing more than my normal nasally self during the podcast, this is why. As she looks at me like, can I talk now? Miss Amy, if you would.
The January Patron Hangout. January 31st at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you are not a patron yet, if you've not signed up, then you need to do that if you wish to become part of our hangout.
Yes, it's a lot of fun. Basically, it's an informal gathering. Think of it as a meet and greet with mostly people that usually show up every the same once during the
but you actually get to see them.
You get to talk to them right in the hangout. You get to see all of us and, ask questions and things about things that are going on.
And ask each other questions.
And ask each other questions. It's pretty cool. So, yeah, good stuff. And I just set up the question and answers on the side of the screen so I can see it if they're coming. So, yeah, lots of fun, lots of things to do. And the patron hangout itself is a blast. We have good times. Sometimes we even talk about geocaching. Go figure.
Not if we got specific people.
Well, yeah, if we get like Colin French and Mark Donnelly, knowing from OB Podcast and from the UK Geocaching Podcast, if they join in, forget it, it's all over with. We'll talk about everything. They'll talk about everything. But that's part of the fun. It's very informal, very fun, and we get to talk a lot about stuff that we didn't know before. Like, for example, I did not know that Taz works at Texas Instruments. So I got to talk to him about a couple things, too. Pretty cool. All right.
24 geocaches in a rail line.
Who did now?
I can't see their name.
I can't see their name. We're looking at a white background. Yeah, that's awesome. Minus 25 Celsius. That's pretty cold. So they dressed warmly. That's neat. All right, let's move on. So how can you get into this craziness? Yes, even when it works right. How can I get into this and see all the funness? that wife Amy and myself get into each and every week? Well, it's very simple. To watch the live feed and join us in our chat room, talking with geocachers around the planet, go to www.geosnippits.com on Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We also have all of our social media links, which is if you go to geosnippits.com, click on our social media, and underneath our glowing pictures are all the different... Is that our cat?
Yes. I was hoping you wouldn't hear her. She did that outside the door after I went to bed last night, too.
Cats. Gotta love them. Or not. Anyways, all you have to do is click on the links underneath our pictures, and you can get in touch with like Miss Amy, who gets into Facebook a lot. I get a lot of information from you fine folks from Google+. We've got Twitter, we've got Pinterest, we've got all the different ones. YouTube. 2 things that you need to do. Absolutely do this. Will make your life a whole lot better, much more richer, and much more fulfilling. All you have to do is click onto our Google links, get us in your circles, so that way anything that comes out that we ask questions or need information from you fine folks, it gets right to you. Also subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you subscribe to our YouTube channel, every time we do a podcast, a vlog, anything that gets produced video-wise, goes directly into your subscribe box, and you don't have to go looking for it. It's there for your looking and listening pleasure anytime that you'd like. So make sure, by all means, you get subscribed to our YouTube channel. It's very simple. It's on the right-hand side of our website at GeoSnippits. Click on the button, subscribe, and you're done. That goes really well. Also, finally, we have our voicemail line where you can call in your questions, your comments, or suggestions by calling 919-341-9519. Or if you don't even want to use that, you can go right to our geosnippets.com website. On the right side of the screen is our Send Voicemail tab. Click on that, and that goes into our SpeakPipe application that you can go through and literally record up to 3 minutes of anything you want, and again, comments, questions, things that you want on the show, milestones, any of that fun stuff. And if deemed worthy, we will put it onto the show and share it with everybody else. Now, there was going to be some viewer feedback if everything would have went technically correct tonight. So in other words, I started at 6:30 in the p.m., and next thing I know it was 8 p.m., and I did not get a chance to get that taken care of because I was fixing everything else that was going wrong. So I won't say quite sad, Amy, tonight.
We had some, but
we just didn't have it ready for you folks. Sorry.
That's okay.
We'll have it next week. And if you want to bring in some more for Miss Amy so she's not sad just in case, be sure you get that feedback into us so Miss Amy has something to read and to talk about in her segment of what she does not have tonight. All right, let's move on. All right, tonight's episode is brought to you in part by Cache-Advance.com for all your geocaching needs. Cache-Advance.com, go find it. And I'm going to talk real slow as Amy types in the chat room.
And also by coinsandpins.com, the best place to get custom coins, geocoins, lapel pins, and patches made. Go through our GeoSnippets links and use the promo code HeadHardHat for a 10% discount. And FYI for our listeners, you can sign up for their newsletter to get notified of when new coins and patches are available for sale. We're also very thankful to all of our sponsors, and if you want to see more of their products, be sure to go to our GeoSnippets websites and simply click on their logos. Not only do you get great deals, but it helps our program as well.
Absolutely. Moving on. Yee-haw! Yep. January 2015, Mishmash episode, GeoSnippits Reboot Podcast, episode 98. That's right, folks. We got 2 more episodes after this to get to episode 100, which will be happening if Google doesn't destroy the Earth, February 5th, 2015. And guess what? For at least part of the show, Dave DeBear is going to be our guest. So be sure you stop on by. We're going to have a lot of clips of things that have happened over the past couple of years. 100 episodes of the GeoSnippits Reboot Podcast, and it is all because of you. And we thank you so much for being part of the GeoSnippits Reboot universe. All right, mishmash episode. Basically what this is kind of think of it as a smorgasbord, a buffet, as it were, of different types of geocaching subjects that Miss Amy and I talk about. Some of them are usually not big enough to take an entire show, so we'll have like little segments of them, and sometimes we combine all these segments and this becomes our mishmash episode. And a lot of people really like the mishmash shows because it breaks up a lot of things. It's not like one long session about whatever. It's a whole bunch of little sessions, and that's what we're going to talk about tonight and go from there. So tonight, I'm sorry?
I got it in just in time.
You are good. Cabbage, really?
Yeah, I'd never heard of black-eyed peas and cabbage. I'd always heard of black-eyed peas and like collard greens.
Well, what's not po' boy? What am I thinking of? I'm thinking of New Year's. What is that?
That's what we're talking about.
Okay, and the name of the southern dish is?
It's black-eyed peas and collard greens.
Yeah, but it's called something.
Black-eyed peas and collard greens.
Okay. All right, I thought there was a southern name to it. I could be wrong. Anyways, that tells you what happens with the chat room. Because not only do they talk about geocaching backing up Miss Amy every time she gets into a bind, they also have other side things that from people all around the planet. So apparently now black-eyed peas and
cabbage gives you good fortune.
That's why you do it on New Year's.
Yes, but greens equals money.
All right. And there you go. Something you may or may not have learned except for watching our show.
Black-eyed peas are luck.
All right, so money and luck. All right, I can use both. It's a good thing.
I add some cabbage in there and get me some fortune, too, while I'm at it.
That's right. Back to the show. From the It's Not About the Numbers blog, and again, we'll have all these different items in the show notes. There were a couple items tonight that I thought were really, really worth talking about. And this particular one, again, comes from the It's Not About the Numbers blog, and it deals with what to do when weather is too bad to go geocaching, which is the title that they have for that. And I'm going to bring this up. This is really kind of cool. Have you ever heard of, Miss Amy, something called place spotting? That's usually a yes or no kind of question.
Well, it depends.
The other thing that I had first spot in my mind didn't have to do with traveling, but as far as a activity of which you go
no.
And do, place spotting.
I was thinking of
I know you were. Anyways, if you go to the link that is provided in our show notes for this, you go to, and this came out from, what is the name of that right there, the person that put it out? I can't read it from here.
Cumbie Rocks.
Cumbie Rocks put this out January 16th. And basically what this is, and I actually tried this out. We talk about all sorts of different computerized games and location-based games and different things. We don't always talk just geocaching. This is for you couch potatoes out there that want to do something. You get bored. You try to, what do I got to do? I figured out all the puzzle caches for 50 miles from around here. What can I do to keep myself and my brain active? And this place spotting is something that actually went back several years. I think it goes back to about 2007 or 8, if I remember correctly. And again, we'll give you, if you go to placespotting.com, it has all the information. But basically what it is, it's a game that you are given information and a picture on a map. It doesn't give you specifics like streets and names and labels, things like that. But it does show you a piece of a map, and the idea is off of the clues you need to go through, and I believe this goes through Google Maps. The idea is to figure out this place just based off of the clues. And as you narrow down from a satellite map down to the lower, the lower possible resolutions for this, if your map of where you think where they're talking is matches what they have, you answered the quiz or you answered the challenge correctly. So this is something that people that are very interested in maps would get a kick out of playing this.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like waymarking, but without having to leave the house. So this is one of those things that works out well with that. Mint tulips or Bloody Mary. So that tells you where they're going here in the chat room.
Well, they're talking about crawfish etouffee, and I said I love gumbo, and they're talking about low country cooking and beignets, and I'm like, well,
that's good.
Now they're having a ham dinner on New Year.
Is Salty in there? Is he the one doing this?
That's who he said say ham dinner on New Year. The rest of us are talking about low country cooking.
I'll tell you what.
You're just making me hungry, and you're talking about geocaching.
Yeah, so that's how this works. Anyways,
geocaching. I don't know where that came from.
Geocaching?
Maybe
I think that's more Australian, geocaching.
Maybe it's a new game. I don't know.
But it's a lot of fun. I actually tried this out. Wow. So it started off by people that really know very little about geocaching themselves and just wanted to do a map-based game instead based on this article. And so going there is kind of cool, and I'll see if I can bring it up here. Okay, so there's different, when you go to placespotting.com, it actually brings up a bunch of different things. There are pictures on the map that you can choose, and you can go through and you can search for many different areas that you want to go looking for, a general area, and try to figure out things that are off of that area. You can create different place spots yourself, and there's a way of saving the actual ones that you create that they call My Places. Now, for example, one of the ones that we have in here that I found not too long ago, I wanted to see something in New York. And so I put in New York, and it actually brought up a map of this park that's in New York that you can go through, and it has a bunch of clues to it. And it ended up being what I guessed was Central Park, and I guessed right. It went that way. So it's a lot of fun. It's something that, again, if you're really into maps, this is something that you might want to check out and give it a shot. They've got some in here that haven't even been solved yet. So this is cool, and they've got a lot of places, searching wise. There's just a lot of different things that you can jump to and actually give it a shot. So again, placespotting.com. All right, next. Let's see, geocaching in your health. Okay, this has been an issue, and we've kind of hinted at this for the past couple of weeks now when it comes to my health and wife Amy's health. And let's face it, we are not little people. We are.
I'm a little short.
Well, not this. Yeah, you're height challenged. But as far as, let's put it this way, round is a shape, and we are in shape. Unfortunately, it's round, and we want to do something to fix that. And some of the stuff that we've been looking into, let's go over some of that a little bit. This is going to point to geocaching in your health, but some of the things that personally we've been doing because we need to get back into a proper shape, a proper weight, and go that way. We're not expecting miracles in 1 year, but we want to better ourselves so we can do things like keep living. So that's the kind of situation you get when you start getting into an age and a weight that it starts affecting your health. You got to do something.
It doesn't have anything to do with our age.
Well, for me more than you, I think.
No, I don't think so.
All right, to the point though, for me, I would say a combination of both is definitely a factor. And the idea is to start reverting that clock back. Instead of having a body for a 90-year-old, I need a body for my age. And go that way.
Or younger.
Or younger. So to do that, we've been looking at several different things. For example, we have Galaxy S5 phones, and there are several different applications that we have been looking at that are free, that you can do things. Why don't you hand me my phone unless you can think of the name of the two that we use?
Oh, one's MyFitnessPal.
Okay.
Everybody knows about that one.
All right, MyFitnessPal is a free app, and basically what you do with that is you can this is so like me, all right? If you like wherever you eat, whatever you eat.
It doesn't have Snoopies.
Huh?
It doesn't have Snoopies.
It doesn't have snow peas?
Snoopies.
Snoopies, okay. Almost everywhere you eat.
You should not eat at Snoopy's if you're trying to lose weight.
It's a fast food hot dog place.
Yes.
So basically what happens is you go to a main restaurant, you order anything off the menu that's on there. Before you order it, check out MyFitnessPal, and it will tell you how many calories, how much all this stuff is, and you set up your goals saying, I can only eat so many calories a week or a day, and there's so many sodium I can have, so much sugar, all that. And it will now, it's pretty advanced than what it was years ago when it first started. There's a lot of helpful hints in there that'll sit there and say, okay, you ate this. Your goal for today in the amount of fat is X number of grams, and this has already got this many. So it gives you a lot of helpful things as far as what you can do. Basically, it's to help you and remind you before you just dig into whatever you feel like eating because you're hungry. Take a look at what you're going to eat before you eat, and then that'll help you control how much you want to eat. So that's, we'll get off the weight wagon now, but that's basically the whole purpose of that, is to help remind you on a regular basis to know what you're going to eat before you do. For the people who are healthy, they're going, yeah. For the people who are not, going, really?
Well, and
you
for
gotta
us,
do it.
For some people, a lot of people, it's an addiction.
Yes, food is an addiction. I don't do drugs. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I do food.
Right. It's an addiction, and you got to retrain your brain, and you got to redo, because it'd be a whole lot easier if we could just give up food, but you can't.
Right.
You can't give up food. You have to eat to live, and so it's hard.
Yes. And if this is just that little bit of oomph to remind you, instead of getting that extra large order of French fries, and then when you actually go and see how much is in those.
Yeah, when he first started using this, he was like, did you know? I said, yes, I did. And I still ate it.
Yes. The other thing that we use that is free as an app is the one that we use for when we're walking.
Oh, my Map Walk?
Is that what it is?
You use Map Walk.
Okay.
But
mine's like All Pro. What is it?
Yeah, yours is the All Pro Map Walk thing. I use the free pedometer, but
keep going. One more. Right there. What's that?
Oh, All Sport GPS.
All Sport GPS.
Yeah.
Okay. If what I like about All Sport GPS is that it's like a pedometer, only it measures it does any sport you can think of. Walking, swimming, hiking, biking, whatever you do, it has an algorithm in there for you that you can go through and just start your walk. And it'll actually map exactly where you walk, keep track of how much that you've done with that walk. You can do laps, you can do all sorts of things. And then it'll tell you how many calories that burns, and that fits. You take that information and you put that right into the other one for MyFitness, and that will take that information in, because for a person that does exercise, it actually knocks off those calories and says, that you burned, and goes that way. And if you want to take the advice of what my doctor said for diabetics, that's free insulin.
Yes.
So keep that in mind.
Because literally his doctor looked at both of us and said, do you want to live or die?
Yeah. So that's why we are doing better.
Okay.
So yes, and it takes something like that for somebody to say, hey, you know what? You need incentive to go out and do stuff. Why don't we try something like, and people will say, Andy, you're a geocacher. Why do you have this problem? If you have a situation where you are a person who is not constantly in motion, who is constantly busy with other things, you will find excuses not to get out and do activity.
And if you're a procrastinator.
And if you're a procrastinator like me, who cannot pronunciate, that's another one. You find ways of not going out. And that's why I say I wanted to geocache more this year with a certain amount to force me to get out and do that. Besides that, I'm out walking now on a regular basis. And if you go to my Facebook, you will see Andy did X number of miles today.
And it's not every day that we're walking.
No, because life does that to you. And we understand that. And that's what we're saying to you fine folks. It's just that little nudge that you may need to help you get a little better health as well. And that's why we're talking about this tonight.
And those of you who are healthy and exercise every day or whatever, do what you're supposed to do.
You already know this.
You already know all this stuff.
Yes. But if you're not, and you're trying to get yourself back in the groove, that's where we're trying to help. Because that's where we're at. And that's what we're going to do. One of the things, if you're saying geocaching adds to your health, it absolutely does. Texas A&M did a study a couple of years ago, I believe it was 2013, where they went out and they literally did a complete study, and a lot of you geocachers that are still out there geocaching actually got involved with this. It was called the Geocaching for Exercise and Activity Research. And over 1,000 geocachers, and again, if this sounds familiar, they were expecting maybe a couple hundred people to show up. Within minutes, 1,000 people were there. Boom. And they had it set. They sent out a pedometer to each of them. And
I hope they had enough.
And yes, they had the 1,000 pedometers, but it was just one of those things of they didn't expect it quite so quick. Surprise! So yeah, so basically they went out and the people recorded what they did when they went geocaching, and from that they got a boatload of stats. Won't go into them tonight, but there is a geocaching podcast episode where we actually had the people from Texas A&M on the show, and we went over some pretty interesting things.
And we can put this in the show notes, too.
And we can put them into the show notes so you guys can check it out as well. But the whole point is, yes, they absolutely proved that there is a benefit to geocaching because you do go out and you do get activity and you do get exercise geocaching. Even if you're going from your car to the cache to the car, it is not as beneficial as a mile hike going for a geocache or a series of geocaches. It still exercises, and it's better than sitting home on your bum.
Yes, and even if you're just walking around, I literally walked in a circle in a lobby today at work.
Okay.
And I was like, I can't sit in this chair anymore. I got to get up and walk around and do something.
Yes.
So I just walked in a circle.
Yes. So there is
this is kind of stupid. But
yeah. Hey, you do what you got to do with what you have.
But it was nice out, but whatever.
Right. And you got to do what you got to do. And lunchtime geocaching is a great way to get out. You know, you eat at your desk, you go for your half hour, 45 minutes, your hour walking around, and take that time for getting the exercise and finding a geocache. You know, going that way. Good way to go. So yeah, lots of stuff that they have in there that are set up. And again, the name for that, the short name that they put out for that was called Gear. And we will have not only the links to the Texas A&M study itself, but also the Gear information that they have as well. So that will be into our show notes. All right, so that's pretty much, I was going to say, things that we, the Hard Hats and their 2015 health plan, get out and walk. That's the main thing. We got to get active. Geocaching is preferred, but we don't always get a chance to go for those geocaches because of time. We
Park
try
further from the door.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, literally park on that backside of the parking lot, and walk a little
Little things
further.
help.
Little bits help.
And set goals for yourself.
Yes.
Small ones.
Eat better. So that's what we're doing. Some of the benefits that I've had just short term already is the fact that instead of saying I'll take a large blah blah blah, I'll just take the regular size or a small. And you know what? At first it's like I'm going to starve to death, and it really isn't. It really got to the point. There is a point where you can do too little. So, for example, if you want a regular lunch and you want to go that way, just having a small side salad and think that's going to get you by isn't going to do it.
No.
But if you eat a regularly, portions, please. I'm sorry. I don't know if I'll ever get to where
You will.
you get to where there's an actual regular portion size and say that'll be enough.
You will.
Okay. If I get to that one, I will write a book or something.
No.
But
you will.
Smaller portions, controlled portions that you know what you're doing, so you at least in your head figure out what you're eating instead of blindly eating. That helps out a lot. Use technology to help encourage you to do this. Get that Fitbit. Get that watch that will continuously keep track of all this stuff for you if you don't think that you can keep up with constant day-to-day calculations of what's going on and have it go to your phone.
You don't have to join a gym.
Don't have to. Helps if you do.
But you don't have to.
Right. It's whatever works best for you. If you've got the time to go out and do it, go for it. I would much rather geocache, be honest with you. The sun's starting to get out a little more. We're getting into towards spring a little bit better now. Going to be more apt to be able to go out and do geocaching. It's not so much as encouraging when it's dark out.
There is a woman's gym close by to us.
Right.
That is slightly appealing, but I'm the kind of person that I don't want to join it until I know
that you're going to do it.
That I'm going to continue.
Unlike everybody else in January, the first week, it's like resolution time. I'm going to join the gym, and then go once, and then that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't want to do that. Somebody in the chat room said I'm a January joiner at the gym. Yeah. Yeah. I used to do that too. I can't do that anymore.
Right.
I can't.
We got to do something.
So
if anything that could help remind you, a buddy, technology, your smartphone, scheduling things during the day just to remind you to, hey, get up and walk for 15 minutes, do it. If it's going to help you remember to go out and do it, then do it, and that'll help you out. And like Amy said earlier, finally, set yourself some goals. Not just, I want to do more. Set a specific.
Small, attainable goals.
Yes.
Because I want to be able to bench press 300 pounds. Now, good and well that ain't going to happen. And when you're not able to do it in the first week, you're going to get frustrated and quit.
Right.
So set yourself some small, attainable goals, and that way you can work up to that bench pressing 300 pounds. Whatever it is.
My doctor looked at me, smiled, and said, I want you to walk 15 minutes every day.
It's a completely attainable goal.
I can do that on my lunch. I can do that just wherever and go from there.
My field wife said she does the dance games on the Wii.
Oh man, you want to burn some calories? Amanda does that.
I don't know about the Wii. She does them on the Wii.
Right, but on the Xbox?
Yeah, those things, man.
That Let's Dance?
She wants another one, so we'll have to get
Okay, Let's Dance is a whole series of...
Just dance? Oh, my
It's different dances that you learn. You learn the choreography, whatever goofiness you do with it.
That is a serious workout.
I tell you what, I want to know the senior version of it, because the teenager version, forget it. Hokey smokes. One dance, and I'm done.
She did that religiously for a while.
And burned some serious calories.
Serious calories. And you could feel the muscles in her ab.
Yeah. I mean, it works that much. And like I said, if you're like me and you are just trying to get yourself off the couch, if you just do a minute of it It doesn't matter how far you get. If you can do a minute of it and just gradually work with that, by the time you're done doing a complete easy song, you're going to be much more apt to go out and do that walk. You're going to be much more apt to go out to do it, and do it at a continuous thing. You can't do it for a week and say, yeah, I did everything. It's like that one commercial, one Brussels sprout breaks cancer or whatever.
Dude, I would love that.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way. You got to keep it up, and that's what it goes. And if you want to, just for you, to encourage us, give us some ideas. Send us to gsreboot@gmail.com your ideas about how you keep encouraged to eat right, to exercise, and to do things that normal human beings need to do to survive. Send them in to us. We'll we'll cultivate them and have a whole show just on health.
If you need somebody to encourage you,
we will help because we're right there with you.
Right there with you. So we'll be happy to do that too.
Right. We might even make a challenge or something that we can get people involved with. And see if we could do that. And we'll include ourselves because we're right there too. And it doesn't mean just people are, everybody is. People are healthy, not healthy, active, not active. We'll see what we can come up with. If you've got ideas, let us know. gsreboot@gmail.com. All right, finally, our last thing for tonight was something that I got a geocoin, and I should have brought it down. I didn't have time. It's up in my case. Actually, it's right about there. I got a geocoin that is actually a working signal coin. Now, no, you don't blow it in your mouth and it makes a whistle, though that is a signal. It is made for rescuing people, to signal to people that are either in a helicopter, an airplane, or just across the field, whatever it takes. And there is a whole process.
What's it, a mirror?
It's kind of like a mirror. And I thought, why don't we go over, because this is part of geocaching tonight, why don't we go over some rescue techniques for signaling other people? Because people go, well, why don't I just use my phone?
Why don't I scream?
Or why don't I scream? What if you can't? And that's what some of this is. And that's the whole point. We don't want you to. I'll give you an example, real easy one. It was winter a couple of years ago. And
it's winter every year.
Yes, and it was winter time when this happened. I was on the far side of a shopping mall that wasn't completely abandoned, but it wasn't popular either. I was on the far side of it. It was one of those days where it was cold enough for ice, but not. It's right at that 32-degree thing where there is ice, but sometimes it's wet, that kind of thing. I'm looking at the sidewalk. I'm going for a geocache. I look at the watery ice and go, gee, I bet you that is really slippery. I walk straight over it.
You didn't listen to that little voice,
I didn't listen to that little voice saying, hey, you know what? You might slip. I slipped. I fell on my back. And I kid you not, I could feel the back of one of my legs up by my neck. My body does not normally bend that way. And I'm like, I think I probably broke something and the pain just hasn't hit me yet. When this happened, I had my phone in my hand because I was using the GPS in the phone.
Did you call me?
That one, no, not this one. But it was while you were watching the dogs.
Okay.
When this happened.
All right.
My phone went 50 feet that way. My keys that were attached to my belt fell off and went 10 feet behind me. I'm laying, a rather large individual, on my back thinking I broke my leg because I could feel my foot back here behind my shoulder blades.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that.
I'm thinking I'm SOL. In this particular case, because I am out of the way. Nobody knows where I'm at. I went for a legitimate geocache that normally would have probably been no big deal. Here I'm in this emergency situation. My pack was still with me because I had it wrapped around my neck and around my shoulder. So that was there. So I had no communication. I'm like, ow. I probably could scream, but I'm back in the middle of nowhere. My scream's probably not going to be strong enough to do anything. What do you do in a case like this? Well, in this particular case, one of the things, and you laugh, when we give out these, this is one of the things that we're giving away for the for the prize tonight is one of the grab bags. There's a whistle in here. And the reason why people should have a whistle in their package for this exact scenario, it's loud enough, somebody that's not going to possibly hear your voice, that whistle travels a lot further. Mm. And if you do an SOS or you scream loud enough with the whistle that it's going to blow, somebody may have a better chance hearing you. If you're in the woods and this is going on, there's a better chance that somebody's going to be able to pinpoint you through the whistle than they are from a yell. So a whistle is a great way to notify somebody who is nearby. A mirror, standard mirror, I have two different types at least. I have an inspection mirror. I have a, your standard high beam, low beam mirror that ladies like using for putting on their makeup. I've got a shell clam that works with that. Those work wonderful when it comes to reflecting light to somebody, say, in a helicopter or an airplane. There is a technique of a way of making sure that the light's going in their general direction. It's very simple in those particular cases. If you take your hand towards where the target is and your mirror is behind it, that mirror is going to reflect onto your hand, and you can pinpoint to the area where you take your hand away, and it's going to go directly where that target is. That's one of the ways that you can use that for signaling somebody. Doesn't need to be that. That could be somebody across the street. It could be somebody, across a field. But it's a way of flashing lights towards that target. There are actual signal mirrors that are very affordable. You can get a signal mirror for $10. And it's about that same size. It's about the size of, I would say 2 credit cards, maybe a little bigger. Fits in your hand. It's got a circle hole in it. And the idea is very simple: is you look at where the target is and where the light from the sun is coming from. You look through that hole, and you can guide it to where the target is. Great way to signal somebody that way. $8, $10 tops for something like that. All right, so that's your more, audible and visual ways of getting a hold of somebody that way. Simple thing, if you can do it, is to phone or text somebody, and that brings up people going, well, duh. But if you're in an emergency situation or you're hurt that bad, you may not be able to do that. The simple pressing of the buttons in the right order. Your phone may or not be working correctly when it comes to that. And here's the question I'd like to ask Miss Amy for this particular thing. If you were in a situation where you're in your car, say for example, you're in an emergency situation and you needed to, with your smartphone in hand, give the GPS coordinates to where you're at.
Nope.
That's exactly my point. A lot of people probably have no idea. With a lot of the smartphones in the settings area, there's a thing that deals with location. Many times, the GPS coordinates that you're at is shown in there, just for FYI, for you to realize this. Not all phones. Matter of fact, it wasn't even in there in my Galaxy S5, which surprised me because my S3 had it, where you could actually just go into settings, GPS, and it would actually show the coordinates where you're at. It does not do that with the S5. So, in case, what I suggest is to have on your phone, either iPhone or Android or whatever phone that you have, the apps that we recommend are Glimpse, G-L-Y-M-P-S-E. Glimpse is a fantastic program that you can do a lot of things where it will tell you for you where you're at, tell you what your GPS coordinates are, and it has a whole plethora of ways of sending information out to somebody else.
It sure does. And
it's a great program. It's a great way of doing information instantly. If you have the cognizance to go through and start up Glimpse and hit share it'll go that way. Matter of fact, there are emergency numbers in there that you can set up that if you press the button, it'll automatically send to those people first. And just send a text or send an email saying, this is an emergency situation, this is where I'm at as close as we can get. So that's a great thing to do. This works on Android and iOS. On the Galaxy S5, and I'm sure other phones have something similar to this, there is something called the Safety Assistance power button. And basically what happens with the Safety Assistance is if you click the power button 3 times, it will go through and automatically send you. You go into the settings for this. You set up, I think, up to 4 people, a text and an email. And if you hit that power button 3 times, it will send a text and an email to those people with your GPS coordinates. So that if that's all you can do is click that power button 3 times, as long as you can do that, you can get an emergency signal out that way through your smartphone. So this is a good way to get information to people with that. Finally, and this has been around for a while now. I remember when this first came out, and this seemed like elfin magic. There's a thing called Spot, which is a satellite GPS messenger service. It is a paid service, but what Spot does is it's literally a small GPS device that you can keep on you on your pack, that all you got to do is press a button, and again, in the paid service, it's set up so that it can send out a text message. The kicker with this is, and the difference, because they said, well, the phones are good. Why would you do Spot? Spot is satellite. Satellite's going to go straight up, and it's going to have a much better effect than you might have interference with your phone.
Is that the one where you can put the device on something and it tells you exactly where everything is?
They have that capability. It's kind of a low jack kind of thing.
Yeah.
They do have that. I was on the website last night checking through that. They do have that possibility or that functionality for it.
Like we were talking about earlier for cars.
For cars, so if you got a teenager and things, absolutely. This one is made specifically for a lot of people that get out in the outdoors.
Yeah. Okay.
So again, Spot, satellite GPS messenger service. Check that out, and we'll have the links to all the show notes for this as well. So good stuff. You know, we keep you guys healthy, we keep you safe, and we go through and make sure that what to do if the weather gets crazy, that you keep up. All right. Hope you enjoyed that, what we talked about tonight. Let's move on.
Your support helps keep all of the GeoSnippits Reboot shows running along. Please consider making a PayPal donation through the link on our website to support our efforts in your ongoing entertainment. From all of us at GeoSnippits, we thank you.
Absolutely. And, of course, we want to mention for you fine folks, please consider, as you can see between Amy and myself, our Patreon program. That's Patreon, and you can find out all the information about how Patreon works with us by going to patreon.com/HeadHardHat. In there, it gives all the different rewards programs that we have. We have quite a few for $1 a week. Simple as that. You can choose any reward you want for how long you want to do those rewards, $1 a week, and a lot of those are nested, so you can get into several things for the same low price. But that helps support the show, that helps keep the lights on, and like I said, the big bills came through. We got one more left, I think, in February, and because of you fine folks, we have that ready, and we're going to be able to do it. But we have stuff going all during the year, and this is just an ongoing process. We need your help, and a small portion of the GeoSnippits Reboot universe are patrons. There are benefits. There's a lot of contests and stuff that are coming up that are definite benefits when you're a patron. Please, if you're considering it, get over there, sign yourself up, and we greatly appreciate it because it literally keeps the lights on. Thank you so much. All right, let's move on. All right. Time for the GeoSnippits Geocaching Cash Dash. Let me explain what that is. We have some of the best companies in the geocaching world right along with us with the GeoSnippits Reboot Podcast. And they want you fine folks to know about the products that they provide. So what they do is they send some of those products to us. We turn them into prizes and give them back to you. And that's what our GeoSnippits Geocaching Cash Dash is. We've been doing this, for almost 100 episodes now.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty amazing. All the gadgets and gizmos and toys and geocoins and all sorts of stuff that you fine folks have been able to win. And tonight is no different. We had for episode 97 last week, Miss Amy, what is the prize for last week?
All right. The prize for last week from coinsandpins.com from the 2014 Compass Rose Geocoin Cosmic Mirror Protection. It's a blue and polished nickel.
It is gorgeous. This is the last couple ones we have, and they've been out of stock ever since we found out they had them.
Yep.
So this is going out to some lucky winner tonight for episode 97. What was the question, Miss Amy?
What is the name of the Groundspeak-based free app found on iTunes and Google Play stores? The answer is Geocaching Intro.
Excellent. All right, so what we have here, while Miss Amy's getting this set up, I'm going to come over here, and they just did Lollipop to my tablet, and so I'm going to see if I can actually get back to where this is supposed to be.
Do we know when they're going to send us our path tags?
Those are still in the process of being approved.
Okay.
It's going to actually be a couple months. For the people that have been waiting for the path tag, we apologize.
Yeah.
But it literally is in the works for that. That's going to be improved, and it takes a couple months once they actually get out. All right, there we go. So I'm going to bring this up. And what I have here, sorry for the length of time here, what I have when this brings up is my random number generator. And it goes from 1, boy, they really changed things with the Lollipop, and I'm going to bring this up here, and I'm going to put between 1 and the total number of correct answers that we have, and I'm going to push the button, and it's going to give me a number. And the way this works is Miss Amy is flipping her Magic Geocoin, and it's going to be either heads or tails. If the number was 4, it's not 4. If it was heads, we would count down from the top of the list, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that fourth person would be the winner. If it is tails, we're going to count from the bottom of the list up 4, and that would be the winner. So, Miss Amy, are we going from the head down or tails up?
Tails.
Of course it is. All right. So, hang on a second. Let me count in through what we have through here. So that would be that one there. Let me make sure it's correct. I cheated because it was a high number this time. It's like, All right, let's see what we have. And we have, there we go, Geocaching Intro. The winner is, I don't think this person's won before. I'm sorry, let me put this over here for you.
Thank you.
There we go. The winner is Glenn Reiser, Axeman 22. Glenn Reiser, Axeman 22 from South Carolina. Congratulations, you're the winner for episode 97's question. We'll get that out to the mail hopefully this weekend. Matter of fact, I think will be a good time.
Good. Yeah.
So we'll get all those out. And anybody for the past couple of shows, if you haven't received your prize yet, they will be on the way this weekend. All right, congratulations again to X-Men 22. Awesome. All right, well, good stuff. You say to yourself, well, wait a minute. How do we get into this stuff? They give away cool stuff. That fantastic GeoCoin was given away. How do we get into it? Because this is cool stuff. Well, like we love to say, you gotta play it to win it. And that's what you do with the GeoSnippits Cash Dash is play it to win it. If you don't play, you can't win. It's
and I can't see my people.
And you can't see your people, so I'm going to put this back so that you
Use
can.
the mouse.
I'm sorry? So let me get this over for you. There you go. You got your peeps back.
Yeah.
All right. So how do you do this? All correct answers must be in for this week's show by 12 noon Wednesday, the 28th of January. Email to gsreboot@gmail.com. gsreboot@gmail.com. Subject line Q1 for question 1. Episode 98 for today's episode. All correct answers will be put in a drawing just like you saw. Some weeks for the people in the live chat room, like last week, we have a second prize we give away live right then, right there. We had another one of those beautiful coins go out to a lucky winner right live on the show. And but sorry, folks, not tonight. We do it at least once a week or at least once a month. For somebody to win live on the show, so it kind of gives you that little extra incentive to come see us live, and it's a great way to meet with other geocachers from around the planet as well. So let's move on for Miss Amy. Let's see, the prize.
Is that grab bag?
We have another grab bag from GX Proxy. A bunch of things in here. We have got a cool geocaching.com. Looks like a nice necklace, some geocaching.com, or they're all GX Proxy, some geocaching symbol earrings, bison tube, and a bunch of other goodies in here. So this is a grab bag, all bestowed to you in one of our precious quart-sized Ziploc bags that we give to give all this out. So you get a whole bunch of fun stuff here from GX Proxy. We want to thank Beverly for all the fun stuff and the great things that she gives to us as well. And it's amazing stuff. So that's our prize. What's the question?
What is the competitive sport in which participants find their way to various checkpoints across rough country with the aid of a map and compass, the winner being the one with the lowest elapsed time?
And people are going, one more time, please.
What is the competitive sport in which participants find their way to various checkpoints across rough country with the aid of a map and compass, the winner being the one with the lowest elapsed time? And no, it is not the Greatest American Race.
Very good. All right, folks, send your answers in.
That is the reality show right now.
That's right. Send in your answers, episode 98, and we'll find out next week. Fantastic stuff. All right, let's move on. All right. Well, we hope you enjoyed the show, folks. We had a great time today. I love Mishmash shows because you get into so many different types of topics, and the chat room gets into all sorts of cool things like Dance Revolution and drinks and cabbage and all sorts of stuff. And yes, even geocaching. So we really, really do appreciate you coming on by. People in the chat room, we wouldn't have it any other way. We love having you here. Great, great stuff. Please remember to become a patron and help support our show and become an active member with us in the GeoSnippits Reboot community. We greatly appreciate it. And finally, tell other geocachers about the GeoSnippits Reboot podcast. We are so much more than just a tutorial show, and you can see that with what we discuss each and every week. Cool stuff.
All right, we want to thank our sponsors, cash-advance.com and coinsandpins.com. I want to thank Andy HeadHardHat Smith. I want to thank everyone watching in the chat room. Please keep those comments coming in. We'll see y'all next time.
Absolutely. Special thanks to the one, the only, the beautiful wife, Amy. And we'll see you fine folks next Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time for another fun-filled episode of the GeoSnippits Reboot Podcast. And no, you can't do that while I am saying the final monologue.
I just needed...
All right. We'll stop the show. There you go. Go for it. I'm waiting for her to finish talking to one of her peeps on the chat room because it's that important. Aw, that's sweet. Very nice.
See?
Very beneficial. Thank you, and I'm sure the people in the podcast appreciate it too. Great one. Be safe out there, folks. be safe, and we want to see you next week at the GeoSnippits Reboot Podcast. And as we like to say in the GeoSnippets Studios, see you out on the trails, folks. Bye-bye. Please be sure to join us each and every Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time for another episode of the GeoSnippits Reboot Podcast, right here on the GeoSnippits website at www.geosnippits.com. The video version of this show is available on YouTube, and the audio version is available on iTunes, Stitcher, Blueberry, the Tech Podcast Network, and many of your favorite podcasters. We love hearing from our viewers and listeners, so please leave your feedback by emailing us at gsreboot@gmail.com. Visit us through our social media sites or contact us via our voicemail line at 919-341-9519 or use our website Send Voicemail tab. GeoSnippits Reboot is a HeadHardHat production and is produced by Amy and Andy Smith. This show is copyright 2015 by Andrew T. Smith. All rights reserved. And clear. All right, folks, thank you so much for stopping on by. We had a great time. We hope you did too. Be sure to check out those links on our show notes. Just go to geosnippetsreboot.com, episode 98, and you can get all that information that you want right there. Have a great one. Have a safe one. And, yeah, no puppets. Sorry. I was sick, and one of the people said early on with the show, is Andy going to be able to do the show tonight because he was sick last night? I just produced a show last night for the Geocaching Podcast, and I said, if Amy's got to do a geocaching puppet show, then that's what she'll do. Sorry, I was able to make it, though that would be entertaining to see.
Not really.
Have a great one, folks. Be safe out there. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.